Well, after a very productive weekend of Griffin games, I thought I was finished. I thought that was it. I thought turn 7 was my limit. But the treasure chest kept calling me back. And so we go again. And here, after this complete disaster of a run, I have no idea that the next run I'm about to get at turn 6, level 3, tier 6. So actually here we get a really bad start where I only have the pig and the chinchilla. Most of the time I wasn't bothered about losing the first turn, so I tended just to spend the gold rolling. Actually here there's going to be a very long pause because I am tabbing in and out of the game. You know, when you're doing these sort of repetitive grind type runs, you need to have something else to hold your attention, and I had a little spreadsheet going along with this, so that every time I sold a stoat or I pilled a spider or used Water of Youth, I recorded which pet I actually got. So I was updating the spreadsheet there with the results of the previous game. And it was kind of depressing reading because of all the tier 3s that I had in the pack, Griffin was by far the least common. And it has been the least common for a couple of days now. And I think I'm well past 100 tier 3s recorded in the sheet. So I was really starting to doubt whether or not I was going to be able to do this. But it really has become a bit of an obsession. And I'm really glad that this run is going to release me from playing this anymore. And it is nice to see, though, that other people are still trying it. You can see in that last opponent had all spiders. But we're not going to go for spiders here. We're going for the stoat cell. So the benefit of the stoat cell is, although we can't get access to the tier 3 until turn 5, we can sell it for 3 gold and then potentially recover another 3 gold by selling the Griffin. So level 3 stoat cell, into Griffin, 6 gold back, don't need Water of Youth anymore. Now I just need to find 2 level 2 mandrills. So we're also going to need to find a pill. There's another mandrill, so we now have 5. I really should just buy the mandrill there, but I guess I'm worried about needing to spend a lot of gold on the finding the pill. But we get the pill, and we also get a crow for chocolate. So next turn, we're now guaranteed to get a level 2 mandrill, and it's just a case of rolling for the final pill required to get the break on the treasure chest. So in theory, this is possible on turn 5, and I guess via the spider method you can do it on turn 4, but having spent probably in excess of 15 hours on this all in, which really is a little bit embarrassing to say, I feel like this is the limit. So turn 6, we get the level 3 Quetzalcoatl, and we can't afford to buy anything else. So at this point, I'm pretty much shaking with adrenaline. I know that it's very, very unlikely that I'm going to be able to do anything from here because I'm almost guaranteed to lose the next turn. There are some really bad teams out there because of people trying to do this challenge, but I think most of those teams are still going to beat a 12-12 solo pet on turn 6. And it's a basic jump team with no stats, but yeah, they're very easily going to defeat us. And so down to lethal. But the Quetzalcoatl's ability does mean that if I buy some tier 3s or lower, they're probably going to become level 3 immediately. I guess it depends on how it spreads the chocolate around. And I didn't actually have Quetzalcoatl in the pack in the previous videos. The last couple of days when I've continued recording with this, I just kept switching around the tier 6 and 5 units to try and make the end game a bit more interesting. I had the same ones for a couple of days, and it's nice to get something kind of surprising when you finally pill the mandrill to break the treasure chest. So with the reinforcements, we managed to get a win on the board there. Nothing went to level 3, but I think, Anteater, I feel like the more I've played this challenge, the more I'm convinced that Anteater is just super strong at tier 3. Getting the +3 from each ant, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I swear it adds up. I thought about Kraken there, which was something else I'd added to the pack just for variety's sake. One of the new pets that I've hardly purchased at all. And I actually got a pretty bad roll there where there were no tempting units in the shop at all. So I'm going to actually just take this parrot. A bit of a theme in the other videos that I've ended up taking parrot a lot of the time. It's just so good, even though it can't really copy the tier 6 that we got this time. But luckily we actually faced this team that has clearly committed a lot to getting the level 3 hatching chick early. And we actually win, so we're still alive. To be honest, I was just happy that I'd managed to get the turn 6, tier 6. And I didn't really mind too much that, if I ended up losing, it was no big deal. I just had achieved what I'd set out to do, which was get the earliest tier 6 I thought was realistic. But now we get the level 2 turkey, and that's a pretty nice power spike, but I also get the team spirit here. And so I really should just sell alpaca and sell the anteater, and then find another pet for the Quetzalcoatl to level up. So we get another anteater, which is perfect. So we'll bring that in. And then with the parrot copying it, that's like the very basic composition of a summon team with the turkey. And actually here I really should move the team spirit forwards because I haven't factored in that the anteater is going to become level 3. And so we're going to get 3 ants. Unfortunately, the crisp doesn't actually kill the team spirit there. Otherwise we would have had space. But luckily we're still facing the relatively weak teams who have had a really bad start. So team spirit level up here is, makes a lot of sense because if we can keep finding tier 3s that are useful, or maybe just tier 2s, there's a Bigfoot there, but I think I'd rather find one of the summon pets. We can get double the value now because the Quetzalcoatl is going to level it up twice each turn. So spider, kind of fitting given the way that this challenge has evolved over the last few days. Spider has to be involved somehow, even though it wasn't used in the beginning. So I'm going to bring the spider in. And I think, we don't have to move the team spirit now. I don't like having the turkey at the back when it doesn't have any, mushroom or protection of any kind. So, keeping the team spirit at the back should be okay. Although I guess the spider can spawn a level 3 osprey or level 3 anteater like we had before. So probably a misplay there. But the buffs that we get from the double level up, now that we have the team spirit level 2, it's so good. And it's going to be very difficult for any of these other sort of teams that are kind of hanging on to deal with that. So I freeze the double red dragon and the chocolate just to be able to trigger the team spirit again. Maybe that isn't the best use of gold, but I don't know. I haven't played that many games with team spirit, and so I wanted to activate it as many times as I could. And also getting a lot of health onto the turkey kind of intrinsically protects it from being sniped, and downgrading the value of our parrot and whichever summon pet we're using in the pivot slot. So I think I freeze the mushroom here and then I change my mind about it, because with the turkey, it's going to be much bigger by next turn, 30 health. I think realistically it's unlikely to get sniped now, so probably putting mushroom on it doesn't make a lot of sense. A Kraken team with a bunch of snipers, but thankfully the high health on the turkey and parrot mean that they stick around and we get another win on the board. So we're really starting to build some momentum here. I just need to keep finding the good tier 2 and 3 summon pets in order to keep this scaling engine going. So we'll take the parrot closer to level 3. Nothing there, and there is another anteater. So definitely sell spider, and I think here I roll once in case I get a buy sell. I'm not sure if there are actually any buy sells left in the pack, but I went for it anyway. And I think, lemon now makes a lot of sense on the big unit at the front. We've invested all of this effort in getting the big stats. We need to protect it as much as possible. Now this is absolutely terrifying here. The Jerboa team with the worm. The ant is going to spawn and give buffs to the team spirit at the back, and actually it's their worm hangs on with 1 HP and we scraped a win. So again there I made a misplay with the position of the anteater, so I end up moving the team spirit to the front, giving it the popcorn. And then probably here, yeah, we should take the sheep and then the cornucopia for the popcorn, which we can put on the parrot. And the sheep immediately becomes level 3, 1820 stats. It's such a fun scaling method using these two together. I can't decide if it's still too strong or not. I suppose it does require you to constantly be taking low tier units, but you know, if you get this combo early, it can just go completely nuts. Probably not as early as turn 6 though. So we'll take another cornucopia, and we just have to sell the sheep first before we use the pizza. So we'll buy the pizza first, then bring in the anteater. Probably actually should have sold the crow there to get the chocolate ready for next turn for the parrot, but at this point, you know, the level of misplays is probably partly down to me just being incredibly overexcited and initially thinking that this run was dead in the water, but as we get closer to the end, realizing that actually it has a chance to go the distance. And despite the turkey being turned to rock, we're going to get the win on turn 14. So sometime soon I'm going to have to get rid of the team spirit for something else. We have 3 units on 50 health already, so now we're really only statting up the unit that we buy into the pivot slot and the attack on the other units. And I think the attack is probably a lot less important. At this stage, we should be trying to get more high tier summons in. But at the same time, I really do want to have a tier 2 or 3 unit in the team at the very end. So I think we're going to do one more turn of Team Spirit here with the spider and then save the orca for next turn. Or am I going to sell the Team Spirit now? I can't remember. This happened about half an hour ago. But it was a little bit of a blur. So yeah, we're going to save it for next turn. We'll get another round of Team Spirit scaling. And that will actually mean that we can keep the spider on the last turn, because its stats will be half decent there. 1820, not too bad. This is a very unusual team with the young phoenix token pet. And they actually used the frigate bird to remove the crisp. That's very clever. A really nice opponent to face there. So Team Spirit can go now. It would be nice to get the trigger from the orca level up, but I think, yeah, we don't really have space. We would have to sell the spider, and I really just want to keep the maximum summons at this point. And of course, with the parrot, we can choose to have it copy the orca instead of the spider. I don't know if that's necessarily the best decision. Maybe because the pack is set up with all these spawning pets on tier 3. Maybe I should have just copied the spider again, but it feels wrong to copy a tier 2 when you could be copying a tier 6. So I'm going to move the spider a bit further back just in case we get one of those triple spawners. And the Quetzalcoatl still scales it despite it being level 3 already. And it's Leopard Tiger level 3 50-50. So we lose the parrot and loads of spawns as a result. We end up with a 1 HP survival on the spider. And is this the end? We get the sheep, which means that the husky gets removed, and it's a tie. Absolute sigh of relief after that. Although it does mean we have to go one turn later. So in theory we could be facing an even worse opponent on the next turn, but we'll take the mushroom and the eggplant and just hope that this is good enough for the win. And it's a low stats team with Kraken and a bunch of snipes. The opponent is actually Corrupt, who was going for the challenge the last few days. I've seen their team many times with the spiders, but in the end it is going to be a very easy win for the scaled summon team with a turn 6 level 3 Quetzalcoatl. Now I think this is probably the end for me grinding this challenge, but There is a little bit of extra footage saved up, and I'll probably maybe put that out next week when I've had a chance to relax.